Hey there, it's Brian Malouf coming at you again with some more tips and tricks from the studio. This series of videos is designed to give you a good look at how I mix a song from front to back. And today we're going to be taking a look at EQing and compression on individual tracks as well as the stereo bus. The song is Colby Calais' The Way I Was from the soundtrack to the TV series The Walking Dead. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with a quick review of how we got here. Every instrument to an aux. Here are the auxes. Every aux to a bounce aux. Okay, that's following along through the entire mix. Every instrument group goes to an auxiliary channel where more processing can be done, and then that processing is sent to a bounce bus, and that's how the stems are created, okay? So we want to talk about EQ and compression on the master bus and the individual tracks. So let's start with the master bus today, since it looks like I've added the the isotope ozone to the stereo bus. So this is a powerful processor. It does equalization, reverb, which is off, excitement, dynamics, stereo imaging, and peak limiting or maximizing at the very end of the chain. This is the signal path, starting here, ending here. Let's take a little listen. We'll start from the second chorus and see how this is working. Then we'll talk about it.
Whistle blows and the church bell tolls. Please remember me the way I was when the crows fly south and the preacher shouts. I hope you remember me the way I was, the way I was.
Okay, to note, as you saw here, really not a lot going on in any one module. Slight little smiley face EQ, a small amount of excitement, mostly in the top end. That's an aural exciter model that through psychoacoustic, not gain, emphasizes different frequency ranges. I'm using 3 bands. A little compression, that was, we're seeing gating now, but if you look at the compressor, there was a little compression going on, okay. Stereo imaging I like, reduced at the bottom, increased at the top. And very little, if you saw, very little peak limiting happening at the maximizer output. This ML4000 follows the Ozone 5, and only expansion is happening there. No peak limiting. I think you saw just a little fraction of peak limiting there on a couple of the hits, but really I'm balancing out the frequency spectrum by making up for deficiencies in the spectrum as detected by the ML4000. Terrific piece of gear, that. Okay, let's move down now to the acoustic guitars. I want to show you what I've got going here. At the beginning of the song, you'll see that these high-pass filters are in bypass. I'm going to go right to before the bass enters, and you can see the change. Here we go, let's take a listen.
Train that ran from Georgia to the shores of California has long been out of line. The evening holds a chill.
And there you saw the change. As soon as the bass entered, the bypass came off and we began to hear the effect of that high pass filter. I do that quite often in mixing these kind of tracks, or any kind of tracks really, when I want the acoustics to sound full when they're on their own, but not interfere with the bass when it enters. That's probably as far as I've gotten on this mix, and that's probably about enough for today. But in closing, I would like to say that one of the most important things you can remember when mixing, and this has nothing to do with the technical side, but everything to do with the result, is allow yourself to become emotionally involved in the track. This song, as you hear it more, you'll hear the lyric is, you know, written for the Walking Dead, but has a double meaning to those of us who have been affected by someone taking their own life. And I allowed myself to really get into the sentiment of the song so I could capture the melancholy of it, capture the hurt and the pain that goes with the lyrics she wrote here. And never ever underestimate your capacity to feel the music that you're working on. Makes a big difference in how the song touches other people. That's probably the best tip I'll ever give to a person mixing strong music like this. So next week we're going to get even more into the compression and EQ of individual channels as I start to affect them. Remember, I still tried to keep everything pretty much flat for as long as I can until something needs a little fixing. All right, goodbye for now. See you next week.